Sean,
and that gives you a great segue because you're talking about my Patriots, and that's what the second topic
is.
about.
And we're going to be talking about
Who are the
Jimmy.
Patriots?
I have no idea.
Who are the Patriots?
Yeah,
Never watched them.
We're going to be talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, a little bit of Tom Brady, and I'm going to make a case. Can I try to make a case?
Let's go, Ricky.
I think that this Jimmy Garoppolo injury is the best case scenario for the Patriots right now.
Can I tell you something? You're completely wrong.
It is the best case scenario because coming into this season, what were we thinking? Oh, if they could just go 2-2, they'll be fine.
This is what I was thinking. Man, they're gonna suck the first 4 weeks.
So was I.
Like,
I said 1-3.
I'm like, if they could go 2-2, because in my mind, preseason, I had them pegged for a loss against the Cardinals. How wrong was I? And I had them pegged for a...
You were only about 3 points wrong.
And then I had them pegged for a loss against the Texans. I thought Garoppolo could get it done, obviously, against the Dolphins, and I thought that he could get it done against the Bills. At worst, they're 3-1. Well, now the Patriots are 2-0. Garoppolo looked good, but now Garoppolo's injured. And here's what I'm saying. The reason why I'm saying this is the best case scenario for the Patriots is they now know what Garoppolo has done. Good. He is the future whenever we want to move on from Tom Brady or whenever Tom Brady decides to hang it up. But now that he's injured, he can't go out there, play 2 more games, eventually get us to 4-0, and then ask for more money when his contract's up.
Well, Ricky, really quickly, listening to the Dan Patrick show, and Dan Patrick saying that Adam Schefter from the mothership said that there is a chance that he could play on Thursday night. So, just saying.
There is a chance.
I don't think he plays, though, because he's the future.
Okay, but let me tell you something here. First off, quit calling him the future because he's not the future.
He is the future.
We'll get into it.
Of someone's team.
Thank you.
Patriots. He's the future of the Patriots.
The fact that you're bringing up is the fact that they're going to have to, if he performs, it goes 4-0, is the best case scenario because the Patriots don't have to pay him that much money.
I would say 4-0 in the long term would be the worst case.
You're saying now if they take him to 4-0, it's going to be the worst case. Now it's the best case because you could see what he can bring to this table.
Which is, and I'm happy.
Why I'm telling you wrong
Belichick.
is because Bill Belichick doesn't give a shit about the future right now.
He does not.
You don't think, okay, what would you, if you ask Bill Belichick, hey, what do you care about? Having Jimmy Garoppolo in 2017 and not having to pay him that much, or going 4-0 and then having Tom Brady take over this team?
I think he cares about both.
No.
I think he cares about now.
He cares.
But he also
It's
is
do your
always
job.
looking in the future.
It's do your job, and it's about winning right now. That's the motto of the Patriots: is winning games now.
For the players, it's do your job, and it's let me and Mr. Kraft worry about the future.
And he's not. He's not, because Tom Brady has not shown regression. I know you see that number next to his age, and you see 39.
Wait.
What?
Good coaches, good owners, they're never living in the here and now. They're always looking forward.
Yes. And the reason why, what Bill Belichick sees in Jimmy Garoppolo right now is 2 wins, 0 losses, and possibly 2 more games if he could stay healthy, and then draft picks. Maybe to possibly get another quarterback to bring in on a cheaper contract because...
Why? But why?
Because what has Tom Brady shown that he's going to regress?
It's okay.
What has Tom Brady shown that he's going to regress at any point in the next 2 years?
Eventually, Tom Brady's going to have to go up against an opponent that is undefeated. You know who that opponent is?
Who?
Father Time.
Okay.
Eventually, Father Time is going to win this game. I'm not saying it's going to be next year. I'm not saying it's going to be the year after. What I'm saying is, why would you go ahead, trade Jimmy Garoppolo for draft picks to try to hit the lottery again when you hit the lottery and you have a quarterback that you can see that's, hey, he's good. He can take over for Tom Brady.
He's good.
He's not Ryan Mallett. He's not Brian Hoyer. He's not Matt Castle. He's better than all 3 of those guys.
Okay, Matt Castle got you to the almost to the playoffs. Went 11-5.
I think Jimmy Garoppolo's better.
Okay, that's fine. Jimmy Garoppolo has done nothing to say that he has not been a better quarterback.
And that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Why would you go to try to hit the lottery again?
Because you already hit the lottery in 2000. 6th round pick, 199th pick of that draft. You have Tom fucking Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. And yes, Father Time has not lost, but also Tom Brady hasn't proven that he's going to slow down yet. And you're going to bring up the Peyton Manning thing, how Peyton Manning regressed in his career. Peyton Manning also had a serious neck injury, and that really turned down his career and could not throw the ball efficiently like he has.
Brett Favre didn't have a huge injury. That was just.
I don't know if you remember Corey Wooten slamming his head into the ground.
Right, that was just I'm talking with the Packers. Not with the Vikings, not the huge Viking injury he had. I'm talking with the Packers. The Packers.
What knocked him out?
The Packers was just, hey, you know what? We're going to move on. We got this kid here in Aaron Rodgers. Brett Favre was like, no, I'm coming back from retirement. And they're like, no, we're moving on.
Brett
Get rid
Favre
of you.
retired. That's why they moved on, because they gave the job to Aaron Rodgers and said...
Eventually, the Patriots are going to see, do we hang on to Tom Brady at the end and Garoppolo walks, or do we say, hey, you know what, Tom, it's been great, but the future's more important to us?
Well, how about this? What if? Not what if, but this is probably a stupid question. But Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a long time.
2 years.
It was a long time.
Yes.
2 years is a long time. Would Jimmy Garoppolo be able to sit behind Tom Brady for a couple more years when most people believe that Tom Brady will on his own say, all right, I am going to step away from football now, and then the Patriots have Garoppolo there to be able to slot him? He's not what?
Tom Brady, he has said that he's playing, like Tom Brady said, oh, I'm playing for the next 10 years.
There's a difference, and I'm not saying that he's not, but there's a difference between saying it and feeling it one day when you wake up. And then there's a difference between feeling it a different way when you wake up. And I think that's one of the things for these players, too, is that they can have all the heart in what they're saying. The heart is in their words. But the feeling, I mean, they take a lot of hits. Tom Brady, not as much, but guys take a lot of hits out there in football. And it can go from one day to the next on how you feel. You may feel awesome, then horrible. Awesome, horrible.
Well,
so what I'm saying is that if it's only 2 or 3 more years that Tom Brady is around, which a lot of people see as realistic, then maybe Jimmy Garoppolo could stay there on the Patriots, and boom, the Patriots continue to still be good because they keep him behind Tom.
Real quick. With your situation saying that Tom Brady's going to retire in 2 to 3 years and step away, that is what Ricky's making the point of. This is the best case scenario, so Jimmy Garoppolo can cannot demand that high of a contract because he only played 2 games. My point is
2-0 instead of 4-0.
Okay. Yes, and that's your point. My point is, yes, Tom Brady is going to take hits. He has a bad offensive line. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't take that many hits outside of the one that really that gave him the shoulder injury, obviously. But if you look at what Tom Brady has done, and throughout his whole career, he has not had major injury problems except for the low hit, and that was really nothing out of his control. So outside of freak injuries that happen in the NFL, I don't see Tom Brady slowing down. I know he's 39 years old, but he also hasn't proven that his arm strength or his mind is going anywhere. And his athleticism has never been that phenomenal.
Here's the point that I'm trying to make, and I think this is the point overall. Number one, the Patriots are going to have a tough decision to make sooner rather than later. And the reason why I say tough decision is Brandon makes a beautiful point. In a perfect world, Brady plays for 2 more seasons, walks away from the game, or plays for X amount of seasons, walks away shorter rather than sooner, because then you can still keep Garoppolo, and Garoppolo can be the next coming in New England. The way I see it, though, and from what I've seen from Brady and just the kind of attitude that we all talk about when it's Tom Brady, how he's so determined, and he's been a guy ever since he got that start, he's known that, hey, you miss games, somebody can take your job. Doesn't want that to happen to him like he did to Drew Bledsoe. And I think eventually, and I say 2 years, he'll be fine this year. He'll be the quarterback of the Patriots next year, Sean. It's after 2017. I think there's a good chance Bill Belichick, who is, I know you can say till you're blue in the face, he's got allegiance to Tom Brady.
It's not even allegiance.
He doesn't have an allegiance. He doesn't have ties to anybody. He will cut anybody he wants. if he feels like it's going to help his future. And I think in 2 years after the 27th season, I think the Patriots are going to make a hard decision and say, you know what, Tom, it's been great. You can either retire a Patriot or we're going to move on because we got the future here and we ain't letting him walk.
All right. Real quick. Tom Brady knows about people missing games and then obviously that person stepping in. Drew Bledsoe got hurt, and he got hurt bad. That was the reason why Tom Brady stepped in 2001 and played 15 games. Tom Brady isn't going to miss 15 games. He's stepping in week 5 no matter what,
and that's why
he's going to play.
He's going to play out this season. He'll play next season. He's going to play out this season. He's going to play out next season, barring a major injury. But we have not seen him get injured and stay down except for when his leg was snapped, which is a pretty fair thing to say, is when your leg gets snapped, all right, he's not going to be on the field. The thing, though, is Tom Brady has not digressed as a quarterback, and in fact, he's been better since, since 2010. He's just gotten better outside of the one anomaly year of 2007 when he had Randy Moss and had one of the greatest receivers of all time on his team.
Well, I'm going to bring up something that doesn't have anything to do with football.
Yeah.
It's his family. I mean, Peyton Manning, one of the things, yes, a lot of people would say Peyton Manning was done. He had nothing left in the tank. It seemed like that. It certainly seemed like that. But I think, Peyton is happy to be able to walk away. He was lucky enough to go out on top as Peyton Manning should. And I think that, part of that is being able to then walk away and be able to go and do some other things in life and be able to have time to hang out with your family and to have time to spend that with, for Tom Brady.
He's got Giselle. That's about it. That's what I'm saying. He's got Giselle. He's got no family.
He's got 2 kids, and he's got 3 kids, 2 with Giselle.
I'm saying, does he have kids with Giselle?
He's got 2 kids with Giselle and one from Bridget Moynihan.
Well, that's why I was gonna say he.
You're the Tom Brady.
You think I know?
I'm pretty sure he had kids since he was throwing the ball to one of his kids at Michigan.
Mm-hmm. He had
I thought maybe that was wrong. Ricky was making me double
we got the Tom Brady. Sorry, don't stalk Tom Brady.
But that's one of the things I'm thinking is that a lot of us just look at it from a football side of things, and rightfully so, because that's what we're looking at. But for these guys, they're just normal Joes. Not really, but kind of in the sense of you're
Tom Brady's not normal.
Tom Brady's not a normal Joe.
Well, that's why I said kind of not really. Is because football is part of the game, but at the same time, there's probably other things that he would want to do and be able to spend time with his kids and spend time with his beautiful wife and things like that. And who knows, in 2 to 3 years, maybe because guess what, Sean, he could come back from this suspension. I would hate to see it. It could be a horrible injury, and he may not be playing again.
Can I say this really quick?
I was just going to final thoughts.
It's it brings me back to, and I mentioned this on an onside kick a few weeks ago when we were talking about kind of retirement. I believe it was this same segment or the same conversation with Mark. It's like Charles Woodson said on the Rich Eisen show. I want to say it was either a half a year ago or a year ago. They asked him, well, when did you know you were going to retire? And he said, I woke up in the hotel room last season the day of the Lions game in Detroit, and he said, I looked out my window and said, you know what? If they called and said there's too much snow, nobody can get to the stadium, we're not having the game today, he goes, I would not be mad. And he's like, it was that moment where this was mid-season. He knew, I'm hanging it up.
And yeah, obviously mindsets can change. And don't take this as I'm thinking Tom Brady's going to play for 10 more years. I'm not buying into that. No, he's not going to play till he's 49 years old.
I think there's a good chance he could say, you know what, I could play until my contract's up in 2020.
My final thoughts is I think that can definitely happen. I think that Tom Brady, just looking at his career and looking at him as a competitor, how he walked in on day one and went to Robert Kraft and said, I'm your future quarterback, even though Robert Kraft called him Kyle Brady instead of Tom Brady, the tight end. He walked in and said, I am your future quarterback. Tom Brady isn't going to let that go. Tom Brady's not going to be a guy like, and I'm not saying Peyton Manning went out in a cowardly way. I mean, Peyton Manning retired when he knew it was time.
He John Elway'd it.
I think he's going to be more, if we're going to compare him to former quarterbacks, I think he's going to be more of a Brett Favre or Joe Montana. I mean, he looked up to Joe Montana his whole career. Tom Brady loves the game of football.
And Joe Montana got pushed out by Steve Young.
Yeah, and we'll see if Jimmy Garoppolo is the next Steve Young. But what I'm saying is Tom Brady might walk away if family is that big of a factor, or obviously, God forbid, a large injury. But looking at Tom Brady, he is a competitor, and I think that he's not going to let Jimmy Garoppolo take his job. He's going to let Jimmy Garoppolo take his job.
It's one of those things where...
did that make any sense?
Yeah.
I think in the end, Tom Brady wants it to where, hey, I'm not going to just give it to you. You have to earn it.
It's going to be on Tom Brady's own terms. So either Brady's going to retire because he's like, all right, I can walk away, or Brady's going to just.
But guys, I don't know. I think, but here's the thing: is the fact that you guys say that because he's a competitor. He's just that. All these guys are in the NFL are freaking competitors, and you think that they
Tom Brady's got a different wire to him.
Yeah, this is a different breed.
But guys, don't give me this. This is a different breed shit, because it's not. All these guys are competitors. It's really not. This is a different breed. Yes, there is a different level for some guys, but Peyton Manning, he's a competitor. He walked away from football. Tom Brady, you can look at a lot of different quarterbacks and say a lot of these guys are competitors. All of these guys are competitors, and a lot of them, all of them do not want to leave the game of football.
Here's the bottom
line. But
line.
they realize that, guess what? Sometimes that day does come, and it's time to walk away.
Here's the bottom line. And I know you want to say your last thing. Say it. You get 2 seconds.
Okay. Peyton Manning walked away because of injury, and I think that was really, he knew when to walk away. And also, we're talking about 2 of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. There's definitely I'm saying there's a different breed between a guy like Tom Brady and a guy like Jay Cutler. There's a different breed between great quarterbacks and average quarterbacks.
Who we're going to get to.
Yeah, we will. But I'm just saying, there's a different breed between those level of players. Guys who work every day, even though they're 39 years old.
You picked a bad guy to compare to.
I don't.
Eli Manning.
Eli Manning. There you go. Well, even Eli's one hell of a competitor. There's different guys that will work their ass off, even if they are the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Here's the bottom line. This is what I want to end it with, and this is kind of to turn it on to you, the listener. The bottom line is the Patriots as an organization have a decision to make after next season, because Tom Brady's still under contract until 2020. Jimmy Garoppolo is up. He is a free agent after the 2017 season. And here's an interesting thing to just throw a little bit into your brain pod to kind of stir up into this. Tom Brady and Garoppolo have the same agent. So that's going to be interesting in this going forward. The way I see it is I think the Patriots are going to make a business decision and move on from Tom Brady because the future is more important to them. But this is where I want you guys to we've talked enough about what we think. That's what I think. Sean thinks Tom Brady's going to play and Garoppolo's going to get traded for picks, and then they'll draft a new guy to take over for Brady. Brandon thinks that we're all idiots for saying there's a different breed when everyone's a competitor, and I'm not saying that to make fun of you. I really do think that everyone's a competitor.
I just think it's Tom Brady's team until he doesn't want it to be his team. That's my personal opinion. That's what I hope for.
And this is where you guys tell us what you guys think down below.